Welcome to Travel with Sean. I'm Sean, and in this episode, we're at the Casa Grande ruins, prehistoric ruins, near the Gila River Native American Reservation in Arizona. We're going to take a look at the ruins, learn about this area, and then we're also going to go over to the Ak-Chin Reservation to see their farming operation and understand a little bit better how the Native American agriculture in this desert region advanced over the last 900 years. The ancestors of the Native Americans who currently live in the Sonoran Desert near Phoenix, Arizona, are commonly called ancestral Sonoran Desert people, and sometimes referred to as Hohokam. They were farmers and built a community here, the principal building of which is now called Casa Grande, or the Great House. This site was discovered by a Spanish missionary priest in 1694. In 1892, the U.S. government set aside 1 square mile around it as a national preserve, becoming the first prehistoric and the first cultural reserve in the U.S. It was later made a national monument in 1918. It's located on the edge of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, just outside of the Gila River Indian Reservation, south of Phoenix. The Casa Grande building is believed to have been completed in 1350. Their buildings, including Casa Grande, were built by hand, mainly with a mixture of mud and a material called caliche, which is a calcium-rich material sometimes used in the manufacturing of cement. The walls were held up using wooden beams from trees found at least 60 miles away. Casa Grande is 4 stories tall, with several rooms surrounding a central one. Experts believe the building served multiple purposes. For example, the lower rooms were likely used to store surplus crops. Use purposes likely changed over time as needed. Carefully constructed holes in the walls at various levels allowed for astronomical observations. Compass readings from these holes indicate that they were likely able to predict and observe events such as eclipses, solstices, and equinoxes. These predictions were important for irrigation, farming, and cultural ceremonies. This map shows the layout of the compound. In addition to Casa Grande, you can see that there were many different buildings. Some were living quarters, others were for storage. Archaeologists cannot be certain at this time what all the buildings were for. But they do know that the Hohokam had ball courts, they had ceremonial areas, they had ovens, roasting pits, platforms, they had mixing areas, they even had a cemetery. They found pottery, firing pits. Some areas appeared to be for trash disposal. Others, the best they can figure, were work areas. And you can see the layout of these different buildings. Some had one room, some had multiple rooms. This structure looks like it was for ceremonial purposes. Prior to the site receiving national protection, these were just ruins sitting out in the desert. This area became a junction for different railroad lines, which drew even more people. Sadly, People climbed around on Casa Grande, and some even left graffiti. Over the past 100 years or so, the National Park Service has put a lot of work into preserving Casa Grande. For example, they've put in wooden beams to hold the walls together, keep them from falling. They've built a shelter over the top of the building to protect it from weathering. And they've put sandbags in the cracks that have formed naturally. They've even put in gates to keep people out, keep people from wandering around inside and climbing around on it. The Hohokam people apparently abandoned their community here in about 1450. Why they left is not known for certain, but there are many speculations, to include natural disasters, floods, famine, drought, crop failures, and invasions. When they left this site, it appears they didn't travel far to start new communities, because these people were the ancestors of the O'odham, the Hopi, and the Zuni Native Americans, including people who live on the nearby Akchin, Gila River, and Salt River Pima Indian reservations. I said earlier that these people were farmers. They didn't have any water nearby, so they constructed irrigation canals to bring water from nearby rivers. The nearest rivers are the Gila River and the Salt River, at least 70 miles away. Their descendants, the current Native Americans living in the Sonoran Desert, continue to rely upon irrigation canals for farming. The Akchin are descendants of the O'odham people, and their community numbers just over 1,100 registered members. Even though they are a relatively small community, they have a large farming operation. Similar to their Sonoran ancestors, they rely on irrigation canals for their crops today. These canals carry water from the Colorado River, and sprinklers like this one suck the water from the irrigation canal and spray it evenly over the crops. This example is from one of their cotton fields. They also have 40 acres of chili peppers, jalapenos, cascabeles, and banana peppers. In addition to their cotton and peppers, they have 600 acres of pecan trees. After the pecans are harvested, they are sold to a factory in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Their main crop, though, is the white potato, which is a skinless potato and perfect for french fries and potato chips. They are high in starch and low in sugar. The Akchin community has 1,400 acres of potatoes that produce about 350 sacks per acre. Their potato fields are planted in stages, so they are able to continue to harvest throughout May, June, and July. This follows their demand based on orders received. Orders come in between 10 p.m. and midnight. Because potato season runs from May through July, some of the hottest months of the year, harvesters begin work at 1 a.m. and sorters begin at 3 a.m. Operations end for the day at 12 noon.
power table's up there. Separate it, clean the dirt. You see that dirt that's on that belt? That's what's coming out there. Then we use these density rollers that I was telling you about. You see the heavier dirt clods that hit this roller and fall down, or they're potatoes that bounce on the belt. So he's just getting any good potatoes that might be heavy that fall down and he's throwing them back on the belt.
As you just heard the farm manager say, as the trucks are unloaded, the potatoes move over rollers meant to sort the potato from the dirt. Some smaller potatoes fall through with the dirt and are manually retrieved and put on the next conveyor belt. The next step of the process is washing the potatoes. They are carried through a shallow vat of water to loosen the dirt and do a preliminary wash. So much dirt accumulates at the bottom of that vat that some staff are assigned to shovel out the mud so it doesn't create an obstruction for the potatoes trying to pass through. And then another conveyor belt carries them under pressured water to further clean them. Other staff are employed to sort the potatoes before they're loaded for delivery. They sort for size, defects, and color. They sort for color because when the potatoes have been exposed to the sun before maturing, they turn green. And when green potatoes are fried, they turn black. It just seems that the potato chip and French fry consumers are not yet ready for black potato chips and black French fries. They sort for size because the medium-sized and small bite-sized potatoes are sold to Frito-Lay for chips. Turnaround time from harvesting to manufacturing potato chips is within 24 hours. The large potatoes are sold to In-N-Out Burger for French fries. The delivery trucks that the cleaned and sorted potatoes are loaded on for delivery are air-conditioned to protect the potatoes from the heat on their way to their final destination. After the Ak-Chin community's potato customers receive their deliveries, the factory washes them again before making chips or fries. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below so you can be alerted of future episodes of Travel with Sean. And please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this place. What do you think of the farm? What do you think of the video? Have you been here? Leave a comment. Tell me about that. I appreciate comments. And until next time, thanks again.